so much for being here with us this morning. I know it's summer and it's hard to take time out from your busy schedules to be here with us, but I really appreciate all of you being here. Today is the celebration of our Summer Echo 2017. We've had this tradition for the past 3 years. Our students in Echo participate in enrichment activities over the summer, and we celebrate their accomplishments today. We also are here to thank our partners. This is an occasion for us to thank all our partners who have made this program possible, and most importantly, share with the community all the achievements of Windham Public Schools. ECHO is one of 4 programs in the state of Connecticut where we are able to partner with a community college and an industry to our students are able to earn an associate's degree along with their high school diploma. And this comes at no out-of-pocket cost to them. This is an important effort in public education where we are bridging the path between career, college, and high school students. Our endeavor is to prepare students not only for jobs which they will be filling in manufacturing industries in the next 4, 5 to 6 years, but also prepare them for innovation and entrepreneurship in the field of manufacturing. Now I'm going to introduce the principal at Windham High School, Ms. Sosa, who will talk to us a little bit about this, the summer component of the program.
Good morning, buenos dias. All students enrolled in Windham Echo were given the opportunity to attend the summer enrichment activities. Students worked on developing their English language arts skills, took an introduction to manufacturing math class through QVCC, and are going on field trips to manufacturing industries. As part of their English experience, they worked on Echo Talks. These were modeled after the popular TED Talks. Students learned the importance of organizing ideas in written form and communicating them in a speech to an audience. This is an important skill as it enables students to hone in on their public speaking, develop confidence, and communicate effectively. These are key skills for success in the workplace as students prepare for careers in manufacturing principles and technology studies in supply chain.
Thank you, Ms. Sosa. So before we start on our Echo Talks, I would like to take this time to introduce our 3 judges for the event. Mr. Jim Rivers is the new town manager of the town of Windham since early June. Previously, he has served as the Chief Financial Officer at First Alliance Lending and as First Selectman in Pomfret, Connecticut. Mr. Rivers graduated from Eastern and earned his MBA from RPI, Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in New York. Mr. Chris Jewell is the Chief Financial Officer and Principal at Collins & Jewell Company. The Norwich-based company is a 3rd-generation family-owned business that currently employs 48 full-time craftsmen, including electricians, pipe fitters, fabricators, millwrights, and service technicians. His company recently expanded into a new 35,000 square foot facility in Bosra. Mr. Jewell is a mentor in our program, and he's often come and spoken to our students. And of course, our very own Dr. Youngberg is an assistant superintendent for teaching, learning, and leadership here at Windham Public Schools, completing her 1st year. Her background includes years of teaching and serving as a principal at Bristol and Bluefield Public School Districts. Dr. Youngberg earned her doctorate at American International College. She's passionate about the academic success of our Windham students. Now we're going to present our students. The first talk is Andrea Vila. Andrea?
Have you ever was walking down the street or was driving by and you saw that looked like a painting, that was most likely street art. Street art is a visual art that is executed in outside of traditional art venues, meaning that street art can go beyond traditional art. To me, street art, I think it affects people positively. Did you know that 93% of all communication is nonverbal, according to Albert Mahajan from Silent Messages? Street art can do to people is it can make them stop and look at it and wonder why did the artist create this, what's the meaning behind it. Graffiti and street art are completely different things. Graffiti artists, they're not interested in the public's understandings. They don't care where they put the art. They put it in anywhere they want. Street artists, they want people to see what they have created and be engaged with what they made. From a website called freshwriting.nb.edu, they said that city residents are getting involved with the street art. City dwellers are saying that they feel like they're walking through a fairy tale with all the art that's on the walls. They took a survey about how the citizens are responding to the street art's presence, and 83% supported it. In Wilmington, Connecticut, we have a Windham project where artists create historical and performing arts, and it has a connection with Windham, just like the frogs on the frog bridge that are sitting on the 10-foot tall schools. The schools represent the Thread Mill, which was a factory that we had back then that was very huge, and the frogs represent the incident that happened in 1754, where frogs were descending to our town looking for water during the drought. The Windham project was founded by Gail Gilbert, which is a professor at ECSU, and she founded this in 2015. In 2015, artists created downtown Romantic into a living art space, and it drew more than 2,000 people, showing that people are very interested into the art. A man named L.C. had created a piece on the miner that was built in 1994 in South Tenusa, in Gates. He created the Java Mosque, which is in the back of him, as you see here, and he was calling for peace and acceptance while making this. His community was very proud about how much attention it was getting, and in his artwork he uses poetry and quotes, just like in the Java Mosque. He wrote, which is from the Quran, and the verse is, "O humankind, we have made you from a male and a female, and we made people and tribe so you may know each other." From a street artist from New York, his name was Baskey, and every day in October of 2013, he had created street art from around New York. And people got engaged with it because they made it to a scavenger hunt trying to find where he made the next piece. Street artists, they can write beautiful words, and it can mean a lot to the town, just like the frogs on the frog bridge. It shows us of our past and who we are now. In today's society, the world is so cruel and everyone's fighting, and the news can make us sad, but street art can show the peace and bring the community together and show what's necessary with hoping the world stays gold. Thank you.
The next student to come up would be Daishalee Torres.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to imagine a scenario. Imagine if you came into work one day and your supervisor said, "You're not going to get paid for the next 2 months. But we still need you to work and we'll pay you back for those hours eventually." Would this have a financial impact on you? Would you be okay for those 2 months? If so, that's great, but there are 1 or 2 people out there that wouldn't be okay. In America, there are 11 million people that are literally 1 paycheck away from being homeless. In Connecticut alone, there's almost 4,000 people out there that are barely getting by. There are even homeless students here at Windham High. The fact is that homelessness can be caused by many, many situations. There are assumptions about what homelessness is, and it's not just sleeping on a street corner or a park bench. You're even considered homeless if you're staying with a friend or your family, if you don't have a home to call your own. So, what can the community do about it? Well, speaking to the companies out there, would you hire a homeless person? It's okay to be honest, because the reality is that most companies wouldn't. But former actor / comedian Robin Williams used to make it a practice to hire local homeless people to help on his movie sets, and a manufacturer from the Bronx has also joined in. And he's now seeing big success with employing the homeless. I mean, people see a homeless person and they try to overlook them and walk by, but you and your community can help, and here's how. We can break down job barriers for the homeless. There's so many people out there that consider the homeless as so-called unemployable people, but they're not. They can work maintenance, construction, or even clerical work. Most of the homeless are willing to work, but people just don't give them a chance because of their clothes or their appearance. But we need people to look past that and see the person that's standing before them asking for help. There's even back-to-work programs in place to help the homeless get cleaned up with nice clothes and a presentable haircut. But you don't hear much about those types of programs because we need more of them. You may not think that homelessness applies to you, but there's a large percentage across the country that are homeless. Unaffordable housing is the #1 cause of homelessness in America. Most people have to work over 90 hours a week at minimum wage just to make ends meet in their state. And yes, there's lots of affordable housing made for the low-income families or people that are homeless. But those housing units have waiting lists of up to not months, but years. That's why we need more movements like the one in New York. New York now has a $20 billion plan to end homelessness and boost affordable housing in their state. Now that's what I'm talking about. Another solution could be apartment buildings made for low-income families or the homeless, like La Brea Place in Miami, Florida. It's an apartment building that's 9 stories high, and it's housing for so many people that used to be homeless. In conclusion, homelessness can be stopped with your help. And all you have to do is get out there and just do it. Because who are we as humans if we just ignore the suffering of others? Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. Our next student to go up is Mohammad Hussain Kamali.
So, why is junk food bad for health? Sure, there are delicious foods like pizza, hot dogs, sandwiches, but what do you crave the most out of this picture? These conditions can happen while you're eating junk food consistently. These are the four main effects that it will happen to you. One of them is obesity. The second is depression. The third is cardiovascular disease, and the fourth is depression and diabetes. Let's start off with obesity. People who have obesity are overweight, and people who are overweight, they have a serious condition such as heart disease and back or joint pain. And these are the percentages of how much Americans are obese. And this is the graph that shows throughout the last decade how much people have increased of obesity. The second effect is depression. It basically refers as a state of low spirits caused by loss of hope and courage, or low self-esteem. The third effect is cardiovascular disease. It means that blood vessels that lead to your heart, and it will cause a heart attack or stroke. And the fourth and final condition is diabetes. Diabetes is a disease that affects your body's ability to produce or use insulin. Insulin is a hormone. And people who have it, it can cause long-term damage to your body. And these are the ways that you can prevent it. Be active, eat healthy foods, and get much sleep. These are the most main important tips I can give you. The question that you guys are asking to yourself, why is this important? This is important because if you have one of these conditions, it can be a problem in your future. And I'm here to persuade you why it is essential to prevent these conditions. Making smart choices is an easy way to be in the future. The real message that I'm trying to say is, junk food isn't like real food at all. It's just a bad habit that we are facing. So as a community, we gotta eat less junk food and consume healthier foods. Thank you.
Thank you, Muhammad. Our next student is Karen De Los Santos. Karen?
So my topic here today is how does learning a new language enhance the brain? One language sets you in a corridor for life. Two languages opens every door along the way, by Frank Smith. So I have a question. Raise your hand if you know more than one language. Well, lucky for you. In 2012, Swedish researchers discovered that when you learn a new language, your brain actually increases in size. Yes, in size, physically. It also thickens the cerebral cortex, which is a part of your brain that is connected to your memory. And it improves long and short-term memory. Canadian research also discovered that Alzheimer's is later diagnosed for those who are bilingual. So lucky for you, as I said, that the ones who are monolingual, or who only speak one language. You know, 56% of the world's population is bilingual, and look at the benefits that they're getting, like having a higher general intelligence, scoring a higher grade on the math, reading, or vocab exam, switch between tasks very easily, be more creative, have great listening skills, make wise and good choices, and have a higher chance of being hired. You know, there's many people who come and go from different countries and cultures who don't know more languages, and the translator would definitely make them feel more secure and comfortable. So no matter when you learn a new language, it's great. It's a great exercise for your brain. Did you know that by learning more languages, it also changes the brain in the same way you would learn to either juggle or dance? But not only will it change the brain physically and mentally, but it changes the way you see the world and the world around you. Language is the fingerprint of the culture. So the more languages you know, the more cultures you can appreciate, and the more it can affect your life. So in conclusion, consider the benefits of discovering and knowing a new language. It can bring many opportunities to your life and your work life. Get to know all the different cultures around you. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. I speak a few languages and I'm struggling with all of them still. Jordi Gonzalez is our next presenter.
But before I start with my topic, do anybody in the crowd have kids? Ever had the mishap of overflowing bathroom because of the kids? All right. Well, I'll get back to that in a second. So what is climate change, you might ask? Climate change is massive and permanent ramifications in the Earth's overall temperature. Over the last 10 years, the Earth's temperature has risen about 1.2 to 1.4 degrees Fahrenheit. The temperature is always changing, so you might ask, why do we care? Climate change is affecting us in many different ways, more than we may think. It's affecting our oceans, our agriculture. Just a couple of weeks ago, an iceberg in Antarctica detached and is now melting freely somewhere in the ocean. Research also shows that about 208 gigatons of ice melts every year. To give you a perspective of what that might look like, it's 4 by 4 miles of water, represented by our fabulous Bill Nye. 4 by 4 miles of water just dumping into the ocean. And just like a bathtub, like I mentioned before, the oceans overflow and they can't handle that much water. So they'll drown near coastal cities, entire islands, and could potentially destroy entire species of life or wildlife. This is all caused by global climate change. 10 of the last 13 years have been the warmest years in history, and 97% of scientists all agree that the main cause is human activity. For many innovations, we've come a long way. You know, like the computer or the camera that is recording right now, or maybe the phones you guys are using while I'm doing my talk. All those are great innovations, but since we are making new things, we are kicking up our demand for natural resources, therefore saying we need more fossil fuels. We're burning more fossil fuels, which in effect creates more greenhouse gas. And greenhouse gas is natural, but in excess, it can be really dangerous into the atmosphere. Because greenhouse gases trap heat from the sun and keep it on Earth, which makes the Earth warmer than it already is, which it makes the temperature higher, climate higher. But the main victim of this problem is our oceans. Our oceans are responsible for keeping the climate at average in Earth. It's also responsible for 50% of our oxygen, for those who didn't know that. The ocean temperature has increased 0.3% Fahrenheit since 1969. Although it might seem good for all the people who love going to the beach, it's really bad for our ocean life. It can destroy clams, oysters, coral, and we destroy clams, oysters, and coral. And this all happens because of ocean acidification. The ocean acidification means rise of the ocean's chemistry or acid as a direct effect from carbon dioxide in the atmosphere reacting to the water. Since the 19th century, ocean acidification has risen about 30%, which puts humans at risk because since it kills ocean life, about 1 billion people rely on that ocean life to give them a source of protein. And that also affects all of us because since the ocean has 50% of our oxygen, that can all go away because of climate change. So since we all breathe, we all drink water, we all breathe, this can affect all of us. Now I'm giving you all these facts to think about. You might think, what can I do to help? Well, how can I stop this? Well, not just one of us can stop this phenomenon. It takes all of us. All of us have to take our part. All of us have to pitch in and to fix this problem. You might start by turning off the AC whenever you're out of the house or whenever you're not inside the room. We can recycle. We have to stop dumping all this trash into our atmosphere. Big factories have to stop over excessive carbon dioxide emissions and less cars. Whoever lives near their job or something can ride a bike, or take a bus sometimes. And also just like advanced manufacturing, they become consciously aware and starting to go green to save the world. Let's strive to be a part of a solution and not a problem. That's it.
Thank you, Jordy. I do want to reiterate at this point in time, our students have barely had 2 weeks to prepare these talks, and a lot of their enrichment time is actually spent preparing for a math test that they will be taking, math and English test, which they will be taking next week, so that they are able to take college courses. So I really appreciate the work that they have done in this short period of time. Our next presenter is Noah Butterick.
Hello. Empathy is a special way of coming to know another and ourselves, a kind of attuning and understanding. When empathy is exerted, it satisfies our needs and wishes for intimacy. It rescues us from our feelings of aloneness. That was said by Carl Rogers, an American psychologist, among one of the many founders of the humanistic approach to psychology. We're always saying something, right? To others, even the simplest words are lost. When you look at another in pain, you should feel something, to understand them. But in today's society, I've noticed something. By watching teens, kids, and adults, we're all alike. One of the most important things in human society we have lost. One of the emotions that holds us together. Throughout history, we've cared for each other. But now, we've lost most of it. What is that? Well, it's empathy. Just try to observe the people around you. I know it may seem weird, but it's entertaining. To understand why we're becoming more distant from everybody else, you need to know the factors that amount in empathy for a person. The human brain is very complicated, but in the center we have the limbic system, which is responsible for higher mental functions and primitive emotions. A study published in the Journal of Neuroscience on October 9, 2013, Max Planck researchers identified that the tendency to be egocentric is innate for human beings. But that part of your brain recognizes a lack of empathy and autocorrects it. This specific part is called the right supramarginal gyrus. When the brain doesn't function properly, or we have to make quick decisions, one's ability for empathy drastically reduces. This part of the brain helps distinguish our own feelings from others. With that in mind, what about kids? They're just like us. It's most likely that the children's brains are still developing. At the age of 16, for boys, the right supramarginal gyrus is almost fully developed. And at the age of 13, for girls, it's almost fully developed as well. Isn't that neat? Girls are just a little bit better at understanding people. Enough with this. Does technology have something to do with it? Maybe, of course, today's society we have this brand new tech, everything that distracts us. When we're distracted, we're not paying attention to the person in front of us. That person is feeling something that maybe we should be feeling. And when we're not paying attention to them, we're paying attention to our phones. We have a lack of awareness of our surrounding environment. When you're thinking about the person you're talking to, but the computer in your pocket, just this little LCD screen. But constantly, teens are on their phones. Their brains will be focused there instead of up here. Well, do you remember why I said we were losing empathy? It was 3 minutes ago, of course. And why I asked we were losing it? Well, it's because of computers and how lavish our lifestyle is. We don't live in the wild like packs of wolves fighting for our survival, but we are sitting on our couches, watching our favorite TV shows, and playing Candy Crush Saga. So now I have something for you to do. When talking to someone, just put down that small phone. Put it away. Look at them, judge their expressions, and I hope you all have a very nice evening.
Thank you, Noah. We had some technical challenges with his PowerPoint, but we do need empathy and certainly need it in the workforce. It's becoming a rare commodity. Bienvenue Negron is our next student. Bienvenue Negron.
So, today I'll be talking to you about obesity. Quick question for all of you. How many of you believe obesity is a genetic disorder? How many of you believe it's a learned habit? Well, I believe it's a learned habit. Do you know how many children in America are obese today? 1 in 3 kids in America are obese or overweight. Obesity is defined as having excessive amounts of body fat. Children with obesity are at high risk of having critical health conditions such as asthma, sleep apnea, and type 2 diabetes. There are many factors to obesity. There's the speed of your metabolism, your eating habits, your physical activity behaviors, and your genetics. Even though you might become obese through your genetics, that doesn't stop you from working to improve your health. You can prevent obesity by eating healthy and staying active. Did you know there's 12.7 million children and teens today who are obese? The childhood obesity rate has increased dramatically since the 1980s. Did you also know that there's at least 10% of obese children in each state of America? These are the rates, the obesity rates for extremely obese children. There are many ways to prevent child obesity. One very common prevention is eating your fruits and vegetables. There's also being physical. Have a competition with your friend. Challenge yourself and push yourself to work hard and stay healthy and active. You should also educate yourself on your proper nutrition. This is Jonah Hill, a comedic actor. I hope all of you know. Well, he is one of the many celebrities that has suffered from obesity. As you can see in this picture, he's lost probably more than 25 pounds. And he was inspired by another actor he was working with. And because of that actor, he decides to take a look at himself and notice that he can make better health choices and he can have a better lifestyle because of it. So like I said before, educating yourself about proper nutrition can be a big help. Like I said, I believe obesity is a learned habit. And Number one, kids are lazy. They use technology to do things for them, like using a hoverboard to go around town instead of actually walking. How many of you have seen a viral video of kids riding hoverboards? Exactly. Food proportions. I did a little research on certain parts of the world, so I decided to focus on one very specific area. Well, as you can see, the obesity rates in Japan compared to America are very different. And just to clarify what that picture is, those are both large cups of those are both large McDonald's cups. You can see there's a huge difference between the two in Japan and America. There's also distracted eating. Very bad. It's a learned habit because we consume more when we're distracted. You can eat a whole bag of chips and not even recognize it. It's pretty sad. Well, according to the United States Department of Agriculture, distracted eating is defined as eating while engaged in another activity. Genetics can influence people's weight. Your metabolism might be slow, and you can, right. Your metabolism might be slow, but that doesn't stop it. Like I said before, it doesn't stop you from trying to make it better. You can always improve your health. There's obviously nothing wrong with it, but it will change your life when you try. You're probably wondering, why do you care? Why do I care? Well, what if you or someone you loved ended up with a stroke or a heart attack because of obesity? You would be really scared. You would wonder if it will happen to somebody else or you, like just saying. What would happen to society if every inhabitant was obese? I believe, personally, our society would be dysfunctional and sick. Honestly, I would feel like it would be a world of Wall-E. I firmly believe that obesity is a learned habit. So, I invite you all to educate yourself on proper nutrition, on eating healthy. Be serious, because this depends on your life. Wait, okay. Your life depends on you. You don't want to suffer. Neither does anyone else. So do yourself a favor. Exercise, drink water, and eat healthy. Thank you.
Thank you, Via Ebony. Natalia Perez is our next presenter.
Alright, everyone do me a favor, please, and raise your hands, or maybe yell out, and tell me what you think of this guy right here. Well, actually, this man right here is a doctor who helps save a lot of people's lives every day. Let me ask you this. Why do you think we judge other people? It's because the human mind uses complexity. Oh yeah, sorry. The human mind uses complexity. This means as soon as we see someone or something, we make the quickest assumption we can, even if it's not true. And since we do this so often, it becomes a habit, and it's hard to break those. This picture shows this picture was a social experiment which asked children the following questions. which baby is good, which baby is the nicer person, and which baby is prettier. Most of the children chose the white baby when they were asked those questions. Then they were also asked the opposite question, and most of the children once again chose the black baby. There are a few types of judgments we make without even knowing it. There is judging a person just based off their appearance, like we did with the tattooed doctor. We also judge people on their color, like the children did with the baby dolls. We also judge people based on what they wear and how much money they make. We may not mean to judge people, but we do it anyway. There's a story of 3 men sitting on a bench. The one in the middle was Matt. He was dressed like, he was a well put together man. Then there was also Joe on the left, and he was just wearing some casual clothes. Then the man on the right was Zay, and he looked like a homeless guy. When Joe got up to leave, he left his wallet behind. And when he came back, his wallet was missing. Who do you all think he blamed? Zay. That's right, he did blame Zay. And he blamed Zay because he looked like he needed the money most, because he looked like a homeless person. He didn't even stop to consider it was Matt because he looked like a trustworthy person. But everyone was wrong because it was actually Matt who stole the wallet. Ooh, sorry. This short story illustrates that you shouldn't judge a person based off their looks because you never know who someone truly is based on what they look like or what they are wearing. Have you ever heard of the saying, don't judge a book by its cover? Well, that also goes for people because looks can be deceiving. Since we were little, we were always taught to judge someone. We were always taught to judge everyone and everything. And as we grew up, things didn't get better, but instead they got worse. When we were younger, we would judge who looked like a good person or who looked like a bad guy. But since we've grown, we judge who is prettier than the other person, and worst of all, who matters the most. We judge other people because we feel insecure about ourselves and want others to feel the same way. I feel it's important not to judge other people because you can never truly know someone just by one glance. Judging a person can lead to bullying someone, which has horrible consequences. It's important not to judge other people because their feelings may get hurt and they won't be able to put their full potential into their work. But even if they do, you already made up your mind about who they are and what they can do. So let me ask you this. What do you look at when you first meet someone? Is it their eyes, their smile, their shoes? Or maybe is it even their color? What assumptions do you make based on that first handshake? We all make judgments. However, my challenge to you is to move past your first impressions of people and try to get to know them for who they truly are.
Thank you, Natalia. We have a rare treat now. We will have echo talk in Spanish, and I understand that might be hard for our judges, but we do have several people in the community who speak Spanish, if that will facilitate. But listen in, Rosa is going to give us an echo talk in Spanish. Come on up, listen.
Bueno, muchos de ustedes les han preguntado por qué una mujer se preocupa excesivamente por su apariencia física. Bueno, estamos en un tiempo donde el aumento de cirugía está aumentando considerablemente. Muchas MAC y muchos otros más. Muchas de las mujeres se exageran maquillándose. Cuando se maquillan, tú la ves la mujer más linda del mundo, pero cuando no tienen maquillaje es una mujer totalmente distinta. Vamos a hablar del número y de las cantidades de cirugías que las mujeres están haciendo hoy en día. Una de las más comunes es la lipoplastía. Muchas mujeres se la practican para eliminar la grasa de su cuerpo y verse más delgadas, más lindas. El precio depende de cuánta grasa se quiera quitar la mujer. Otra de las más comunes es el aumento de seno. Más de 1 millón de mujeres se practican esta cirugía mundialmente. Depende el precio también de cuán grande quieras tus frutas, si las quieres limones o las quieres melones. Otra de las cirugías más comunes es lifting facial. Las mujeres que se practican esta cirugía tienen de 50 a 70 años. Ellas solamente se quieren ver más jóvenes, no quieren envejecer, siempre se quieren ver bellas. Otra de las cirugías más comunes es el aumento del glúteo. Las mujeres que se hacen esta cirugía quieren parecerse a J-Lo, a las Kardashian. Pero lo que no les dicen a estas mujeres es el riesgo que tienen esta cirugía. Pueden infectarse el área, caerse en implante, hasta morir por querer verse bella. Así como en esta imagen, esta mujer se veía un poco mejor que después de hacerse tantas cirugías en el rostro. Esta también. Yo pienso que se veía mucho mejor antes que como está hoy en día. Esta es de la lipoplastía. Después que ella se hizo eso, se le infectó el área. Esta es de las peores que he visto. Ella quería ser como las Kardashian, así, Nicki Minaj, pero ella no pensó en los riesgos que podría tener eso. Ella pudo haber muerto por esta infección. Lo peor es que esta cirugía puede causar la muerte. Por ejemplo, 12 han muerto por la liposucción, 4 por el lifting facial y 2 por el aumento de seno. Dirán, es poco la cantidad, pero el riesgo es mucho. O sea, puedes quedar marcado de por vida, puedes morir, pasar cosas peores. En mi conclusión, yo pienso que la belleza no lo es todo. Para mí, la belleza es la interior, los valores, cómo tratas a las personas. Esas pequeñas cosas es lo que en verdad enamora a una persona. Al principio, sí, el aspecto atrae un poco, impresiona, pero en verdad lo que importa es eso. Si en verdad pensáramos bien en que lo que importa son los valores y esas cosas pequeñas, los sentimientos, no tendríamos que estar tan preocupadas en maquillarnos, vernos lindas para agradar a los demás. Les pregunto, después de ver esto, ¿aún siguen contentos con su cuerpo o no? Gracias.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Our next presenter is Owen Delgado.
Did you know that based on a study made in 2014, 47% of U.S. adults have their personal information exposed by hackers? This includes information such as your name, your debit and credit card number, your date of birth, and also your current location. In 2016, cybercrime cost global economy over $450 billion. Over 2 billion personal records were stolen, and in the U.S. alone, over 100 million Americans had their
that type of hacker, they make most of the security systems in the world. They also help improve security systems. Although we don't necessarily like hackers because they can make us feel insecure, we need them. They could be hired by a company or organization to help find vulnerabilities in their network and find a solution to them. I personally have been hacked, and it was by a dumb reason. I was on the internet trying to get apps for free, and I stumbled across a link that I clicked on, and it gave me a virus. It gave me a message pop up that appeared like this. And here you can see that it says that I have to call this certain number. Luckily, I did end up getting rid of this, and so that you don't get this, you should avoid clicking on any unknown links. And another bad habit that you should get rid of is to stop using the same passwords for the same accounts. Here is also the top 25 most commonly used passwords on the internet. These are the passwords that you should avoid using while creating an account. You should also avoid using a combination of dictionary words or just a dictionary word. To make a strong and secure password, you should include a combination of uppercase and lowercase letters along with symbols and numbers. In conclusion, I talked to you about about some facts that happened and how you could avoid getting hacked, and also what to include and not include while making a password. Thank you.
Thank you, Owen. So now we'll give a little bit of time to our judges to come up with the two top prize winners for today's presentations. But while they're deliberating on that, there are a few other things we need to recognize. So I'm going to invite Mr. Conway and Ms. Kavanaugh, the two administrators at Windham High School, to come and recognize students for their attendance in Windham Echo Summer Enrichment.
Good morning. You can tell how hard everyone worked all summer in the ECHO program. At Windham High School, every minute is a minute of learning. Attendance matters. Attendance shows your commitment to pursuing your aspirations and your dedication to pursuing your ECHO pathway. ECHO students attending summer enrichment activities will receive a scholarship supporting them. This comes through the generosity of EWIP. Eastern Workforce Investment Board has been supporting our ECHO summer programs for the past 3 years. The scholarship is based on student attendance and academic performance. Today we will recognize all the students who have an attendance of 90% or higher during the summer program. The scholarship students will receive will vary from $100 to $250. Mr. Conway is going to read the names of students who had attendance of 90% or higher during our ECHO summer program.
Thank you. I ask that you come up on the stage at the end after I announce everybody's name. And I also ask that you bear with me in case I mispronounce your names. This will be my first time announcing everyone's name. So we'll start off with Mario Roque, Xavier Torres, Joanna Silva Torres, Deborah Castro Lopez, Jocelyn Castro, Owen Delgado, Karina Rodriguez, Adolfo Gomez, Juan Hernandez Perez, Vivi Ali Vargas Negron, Mohamed Camille, Andrea Aguila, Gabriel Perez, Noah Butterick, Byron Martinez Garcia, Deishali Torres, Jovan Armadova, Jordi Gonzalez, Enrique Lopez, Domingo Calat Garcia, Natalia Perez, Gabriela Lopez Barreto, Raymond Cruz, Alexia Quiones Alvarez, Logan Vertalafe, I think I messed that one up, I apologize. It's Vertafe, Isabel De La Rosa, Elijah Nicholson, Lizanette Rosa Fuertes, Aslan Perez, Alondra Torres, and Karen De Los Santos, Jelietzi Beltran. I think that concludes the list. I ask that y'all all come up on the stage, please.
Thank you, Mr. Conway, Ms. Kavanaugh. Thank you so much. We'll and Ms. Sosa is coming up. We're going to take a picture with Ms. Sosa and the three administrators with the students. Yeah. ambitious program. It is certainly ambitious for our for us here in Windham Public Schools as educators to design and implement this in our schools. It is a program where we really open the doors to all our students to be able to attend college. We are very fortunate today. Senator May Flexer is here with us, and I'm going to invite her to come talk to us for just a few minutes before we give the next set of awards. Thank you, Senator Flexer, to take the time and be here with us. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. It's an honor to be here with all of you today and to see the great work you've been doing for the last couple of weeks. I want to first ask everyone to give a round of applause to the students who gave the ECHO talks this morning. I know everyone in the audience learned a lot from your presentations, and it's clear how much work you put into the presentations this morning over the last couple of weeks. It's great to be here today as part of your celebration. I want to thank the Windham Public Schools and Windham High School for the great work you do in keeping this program and running such a great program that's a model for the rest of the state. As the senator for Windham, I'm really lucky to talk with people in the state capitol about this ECHO program, how effective it is, what a difference it's making in the lives of so many young people in this community, and I'm glad to be able to fight for some of the funding to keep it going. I want to thank the folks at EastCon and EWIB for their support of this program in cooperation with the Windham Public Schools, the difference they're making in the students' lives. And I think I'm the last thing between knowing what the winners are and one more set of awards. So again, I'm just really lucky to be here with you and to watch these presentations and to support the ECHO program here at Windham High School. And it's great to be here with all of you today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Senator Flexer. An important part of Windham ECHO is the workplace learning, and we have an important partnership and support from Eastern Advanced Manufacturing Association and EWIB, which is the Eastern Workforce Investment Board. And we have partnered with EastCon this summer to make job opportunities available to all our ECHO students. I'm going to invite Ms. Virginia Sampietro from EWIB, who has been a constant and a long-time supporter of Windham ECHO, and Ms. Cindy Wells from EastCon to give the next set of awards.
Well, thank you, everyone. Rhonda just asked me to speak a little bit about workplace learning and what we did this summer, which was the first time that we've been able to kind of combine a workplace learning experience with the summer school part of the program. So, and why this is important to manufacturers, because the youth this summer in the 24 hours work experience program that they had were not placed in manufacturing sites. And even though they will be getting an internship in manufacturing sites in their third year, if they do really well, they will, yes, of course they will, after we saw all the students today. The manufacturers are still really eager to have the students work on their workplace skills, those general skills of being able to get to work on time, not be looking at your phone all day when you're supposed to be working, calling someone back if you're going to be out sick. So those skills you can really learn in any job. And it's important to come to the job So that's what we were really hoping that the students would get out of this 24-hour job placement this summer. And EastCon was able to help us do that and arrange for the sites and plan how they'll get there and all those other things that are important. So we'd like to honor the students that did take part in that today. So Cindy's going to read the names.
Thank you. And just like you did before with the attendance award, I'll read the names, and if you could come up all as one group and stand in front of the white screen, that would be great. We'll give you a certificate. Jovan Almovedar, Karen de los Santos Dominguez, Jordi Gonzalez, Gabriel Lopez Barreto, Elijah Nicholson, Aislinn Perez, Gabriel Perez, Natalia Perez, Delexis Quinones, Vinay Vargas Negron, Deshalé Torres, Andrea Villa, Juan Hernandez Perez, Jocelyn Castro, Karina Gallo Rodriguez, Deborah Castro Lopez, Julio Rango, Angel Aponte, Tyler Kramer, and Luis Gonzalez. If you guys can come on up front. Thank you. Thank you so much. This is a partnership between the community college and our industry partners, and this really would not have been possible without all the support that we get from our community, our industry partners, and of course all the hard work that the summer school teachers put in and the staff that have stayed beyond school hours and all of that to support our students. I really do want to take this time to thank everyone. And I want to take this time to also recognize Ms. Chady, who has worked endlessly with me. I have bugged her a million times about this, and she's helped me make this possible. Now I'm going to ask Mr. Jewell to come up and announce, the waited moment, to announce the two top presenters from our students this morning. Thank you so much, Mr. Jewell.
Thank you. This was hard. I'll tell you, this is very, very difficult. All the judges agreed that the judging of this was probably a very, very difficult part. All the students did a great, great job. I mean, they were great topics. For those of you who may or may not know, public speaking is the #1 phobia of all Americans, even more so than death. So what that means is if you've ever gone to a funeral, most people there would rather be in the box than giving the eulogy. So it's a really, really hard thing to do, is to get up in front of your peers and speak. And it takes a lot of courage, it takes a lot of practice, and it was evident that the students that did that today did a very good job of that. So we thank you for presenting great topics, for putting yourself out there, and it's like anything else. The more you practice those activities, the better you'll become. So I encourage you to, even those of you who were not selected as the 2 winners of today's competition, continue to push yourself, continue to work to speak publicly, because it is honestly something you will do your entire life. And it's something that if you can master, it's something that people will flock to you for. So congratulations again. This is a stepping stone to a bright future for you as public speakers. And there was great research done on the topics. Slides were done very well. I'm assuming you were well prepared by your teachers. And if you weren't, I'm even more impressed that you were able to come up with that quality of presentations in such a short amount of time. So that being said, we actually had totaled up the scores of all 3 judges, and the top 2 tied. So we don't have a first and a second place. We actually have 2 first place award winners. The first person, I have to give her a lot of credit. And she came up here and she did exactly what I did. She took the microphone away from the podium and spoke to the audience. She didn't have a lot of notes. She was definitely very well prepared. Her slides were incredibly impactful, and we really did enjoy the passion she had in her presentation, and it was evident right off the bat. So with that, I would like to have Lizanette, Rosa, come on. And she's going to be awarded a $25 gift card. So the next person that we chose had a really, really impactful topic. Was very well portrayed. Her slides were phenomenal. The one slide out of all the slides today that stuck in my head the most, and as soon as I say this, you'll know who it is, was the one of the gentleman all dressed in black, shining the man's face, walking by the homeless person. That was a hugely impactful slide. I probably will talk to others about that slide in the future when I talk to them about different things. That was really, really good. So her topic was very timely. She had a good conclusion. She had good solutions. She had good data to back it up. She really put a lot of effort into this, and it showed. So with that being said, we will invite up Deshalé Torres. So again, I just want to thank the school for inviting us to participate in this. It's really good to see the hard work that you all are putting into your ECHO program here. As an employer, it's exciting because you are the future of our businesses. So it's important that you acknowledge that and you stay focused on that. The fact that you spent so much time here over the course of the summer, putting effort into your education when your friends may be going to the beach or going to do other things, that really says a lot about you as a person and as a future employee. So congratulations. Those who got the attendance award, great job for that 90% plus attendance. That was really, really impressive. And that's about all I have to say. I'd like to invite my other judges up so we can maybe get a picture with the winners. But thank you all very much for coming, and have a great day.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jordan. While you're there doing the pictures, I want to again everyone here for being with us. I really do appreciate the time that you have given to this program. This means a lot to our students. And I want to take this time to also particularly thank all our summer school teachers, Ms. Bowling, Mr. Kirster, John, and Tom, who joined us from QVCC, Ms. Pautier, and for the support that they have given Mr. Kirster. And I apologize if I missed anybody. Mrs. Rivera, of course, Ms. Rivera, who was working hard with ListenNet. I'm sorry, Ms. Rivera, that was not intentional at all. And I do want to invite all of you to stay for lunch with us. It is a very special lunch, even though it's pizza, it's all homemade. We have an amazing kitchen here in Windham Public Schools, and everything is local and freshly made here. So please do stay for lunch with us. Thank you all for being with us here this morning.